Today on the We Share podcast, we dive into our second installment of our summer book series. We share our thoughts about Too Late, a dark and intense and sometimes disturbing read from Colleen Hoover, a departure from her typical and traditional love stories. Be prepared for Alex and Julie to be brutally honest with their takes of this trauma survival story. Welcome to the We Share podcast. I'm Julie.
I'm Alex.
We share ourselves and we provide a platform for others to share.
We believe everyone has a purpose and a story to tell.
And we're back on the We Share podcast. I'm Julie.
And I'm Alex.
Hi, Alex.
Hello.
We took a month break because we were both traveling.
Yes.
How was it?
It was so fun to travel, always fun to get out of town, and then just gives you perspective. And you get to see how people are in different places. So that's fun.
Ironically, we went to the same place on different weeks.
Yeah.
We both visited Nashville for part of our summer. And then you went to a couple other places. I went to a couple of other places, but we both went to Nashville. How was it?
Oh, it was great. I got Coldplayed.
Did you get put on the Kiss Cam?
I didn't get Coldplayed like the Kiss Cam, but now Coldplay is an Urban Dictionary word, getting Coldplayed. So my version of Coldplayed is I had my first experience getting scammed by resellers on concert tickets. So that was uber frustrating. I did end up getting my $1,200 and something back, but that concert ended up costing me about $2,000. So I feel like I got Coldplayed. But I have to always look for the silver lining in everything. Yellow is my favorite color. Yellow has been a favorite song of mine forever. Mm-hmm. It was magical. They gave us wristbands, bracelets that lit up, and they controlled them. So it was like a light show or a laser show.
So fun.
During the whole concert. So that was a really neat element. And then what else would I say? If you were to divide the number of times I've listened to Coldplay songs into $2,000, it might have just cost, a penny a song or something.
Yeah.
I have loved them for so long that if that's the first time I spent money on Coldplay, it's okay to be Coldplayed.
Good.
So cost per use or whatever.
Well, I'm glad you got to go. I went with my girlfriends to Nashville. We do a girlfriend trip every year. Yeah. Some of the listeners might remember that we went to Whitefish in Montana and to Glacier National Park last year. This year, we did Nashville for a bachelorette party. I can't wait to go back. I thought Nashville was a blast. I loved Broadway, which is where all the bars are, all the musical artists visited.
Did you have a favorite bar?
I didn't have a favorite bar because I don't drink.
Right.
But I have favorite artists in the bars.
Okay.
And Bon Jovi's artist was kind of on a rock level, not so much country, and that was amazing. Morgan Wallen's band was 100% country. Like that was a full-on country experience because the band was country. That was great. Morgan Wallen's is new. Right. It's beautiful, and it's bigger than some of the others. So that was fun. I just thought Broadway was great. Did a Civil War site. I could do so many more of those because I'm a history geek. I was the person on the tour asking all the questions.
I have the pictures of each plaque because I walked it at the Civil War tour.
Yeah, it's so fun. And then, of course, did a fair amount of shopping in Franklin, which if you talk to the locals, Franklin is where all of the rich country artists live. So if you're stationed in Nashville and you're wealthy, you live in Franklin.
Correct.
That, at least according to the people that we chatted with.
Yeah, on the outskirts. I think it used to be, there was another one too, and then it expanded.
It's migrated to Franklin, yeah. Mm-hmm. But Franklin was fun. The shops were so cute. Very Hallmark-esque downtown area. Yeah. Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, no, I took Liberty for her graduation present from college, so and then I was able to meet up with Lincoln there. So didn't do as much shopping. I wasn't there quite as long as you were, but it was fun. Nashville's fun. And what I do love about it, if you've never been to Nashville, is it's like a clean version of Vegas, but country style. You're still getting, I just felt safer Do you feel safer in that city than like a Vegas? Or?
Okay, I'll actually compare, because Vegas doesn't have the music vibe to it. I'll actually compare it to Austin, because I've done 2 trips to Austin.
True, Austin.
And Austin is a 100% music city. If you haven't been there,
yes, it's fun.
And I think it's 7th Street is their version of Broadway.
Or Congress.
Yeah.
Congress.
And so I've done bands down there and everything. Far cleaner in Nashville. Far safer, far cleaner than I felt in Austin. And I was with women in Austin too. There were no men with us on that trip, no men in Nashville. I was a little shocked about the demographics of Nashville. On the night that I was there on Broadway, I would say it was 70% women, 30% men. I think there's far more women on rotating through the bars than there are men.
I don't know. I didn't even think about it. But we didn't spend much time in them either, because we would just go in and out and listen to like a couple songs and then just
move on, which is what the experience is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think Nashville's super safe. We felt safe there the whole time. We were out after dark. The night we were in downtown Nashville, because we stayed in 2 different places. And the night that we were in downtown Nashville, we had to walk back to our Marriott hotel. It was probably 4 to 5 blocks. Zero concern. It was fine.
So I did see a few homeless people. I did have that experience. One was not had lost his faculties, so that was not good. But when I went the last time in December, I didn't see any of that, so maybe it was because it was a little bit colder. But all in all, Nashville, I give it 2 boots up. And if you get a chance to go there, and then definitely drive out into the country, because the hills are beautiful.
Oh, it's a gorgeous area. Yeah. So green. Yeah.
So what else did you do? You saw grandkids?
I went to Arizona, saw grandkids, which is so fun. They're so cute. I'll really quickly tell a story about my grandson. I took him to a Diamondbacks game. He is 3 years and 1 week old when I took him to the game. So just barely a three-year-old. But he was getting the concept. He was understanding what was going on. He watches football with his dad. So sporting events, it's very understandable to him. So you know how people will stick their thumb and their pointer finger, their index, and whistle? He has watched people do that. I don't know where. He wants to do it himself, but he doesn't know how to whistle. So every time something big happened, a hit or whatever, he would stick his thumb and index finger in his mouth, and then he would go, woo, woo.
Oh, that is so cute. That is so cute.
It was so fun. I got it on video, which will be one of those things you watch in 7 or 8 years, and you just are like,
did your son and wife?
Everybody went.
Okay,
so my daughter that lives down there and her husband, he was on call. He's in med school and he's in his general surgery rotation. And he was in the middle of a surgery. He barely made it to the game.
Oh, shoot.
But he did make it. So it was my daughter, my son-in-law, my son and daughter-in-law, and then the 3-year-old, and then the 6-month-old on my lap. And it was so great.
Who did they play?
You're going to ask me that. They won. They beat the Cardinals.
Oh, awesome.
It's the Cardinals. Yep.
That's awesome. Yeah. Great stadium. Been there several times.
So fun.
Love the A's. Diamondbacks, but the A on the hat.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Of course,
it was a good
time.
Yeah. Where else did you go? You had another trip too, didn't you?
Just to Salt Lake for the weekend.
Oh, that's right. Your
Andrea's
bachelorette
party. But everyone thought we were in Vegas. So I guess we made the pictures look like we were in Vegas, but we were just in Salt Lake.
Yeah.
Grand America Hotel.
Yeah. I could tell you were there. Yeah. I could tell that's where you were.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
so
fun.
That's all. Just those places. But can you guys tell that we're dodging or we're postponing?
I think
belaboring
both
talking
of us
about
are
this book.
A little nervous about this podcast.
Yeah.
All right. So we did 3 books this summer.
Mm-hmm.
You might have listened to the last podcast. It was about The List.
Yes.
Both you and I loved that book.
We loved The List.
I felt like it could be applied to my life. Some life-changing lessons could be learned from it. Some good self-reflection from that book. We chose the next book, Colleen Hoover, who is very popular. Many of her books have been made into movies. She also is embroiled in the middle of the Justin Baldoni, Blake Lively controversy, where each one of them are suing each other, blah, blah, blah. We don't need to go into that.
Yeah, but it ends with us, that movie, and how well written that book was. And the one that the sister book to it is why we picked this. We're like, well, she's great.
She's a hot author
this is
right
going
now.
to be a good book. It sounds exciting.
And then both you and I read it.
Whoa.
It's called Too Late by Colleen Hoover. It was a book that was not originally supposed to be mainstream. So she pushed her boundaries a little bit. And it does have graphic violence in it, graphic sex scenes. I don't know how else to say it, how to soften it.
It was very, very graphic. And then I just want to give a disclaimer that Julie and I did not know anything about the book before we
were just diving into one of her newest
right
novels because she's a hot author right now.
So, and no judgment, but I mean, it was well written. I just think it was not a topic you or I enjoy.
Well, when you and I had not listened to it. You listened to it before me, and we hadn't touched base on it. We had talked about other things, but we hadn't touched base on the book. Once I started listening to the book, you and I ran across each other at a local business.
Yeah.
And I looked right at you and I said, Alex, this book is rough.
I know.
And you went, I know. Like, we both had the same, like,
I
this
had to take
book
it
is
in
so
doses.
rough. Yeah, it's a tough listen.
I feel, so when you sit down and watch a movie, we get images that we might not, it just goes quicker or something. I don't know. And maybe I don't process it as deeply. But when you're reading it or listening, the language hits different.
Yes.
And so I'm interested to know, like, before they really described how Asa dressed, did you think he was, and just to bring up, Asa's the main character, drug dealer, the money, the controller.
Misogynist.
We'll dive into his character because I feel like maybe that's the only way to get through this book is we just talked about character development and some stuff in there. Julie's got some things she's going to bring up. But Asa ends up being like this, like New York, well-dressed man, with his nice watches, nice clothes.
Yeah, and he's attractive.
Yeah, and I didn't think that. At first, I thought he was probably like total, like...
Maybe scuzz?
Yeah, dirty.
I don't know. Yeah, like a skis ball.
Yeah, gruff.
Maybe like a good way to describe him would be like Wolf of Wall Street, but in the city where this book is portrayed.
Right.
Like a high class skis.
Yeah,
that's
like
what he is.
Hustler, just mafia or something.
Yeah, and he knows what he can get away with. He knows he's been taught from the time that he's little by a very skis bally father.
Yes.
To have zero respect for women. They are meant to be used. They're a possession.
Which is what the part we've discussed this before getting on this podcast, and that was the hard part for Julie and I, especially because we promote women so much and go get it, be strong, and you can do anything. And this book was like degrading to women, who we are, our purpose. It was exact opposite of everything we stand for, our core values, who we are as women.
Being authentic,
and
be genuine, be
frustrating
powerful.
To read, and then to know that there are women out there in these types of situations. I do think she wrote very well, or was able to explain that very well. Some of the dynamics that come with being controlled, being dependent on someone because of their money. If women don't have a way to provide for themselves, that they allow mistreatment because they don't have a way to get out. I mean, working with different survivors over the years and hearing their stories.
I will give, it would be easy to not have a lot of respect for Sloane, the female, who is in a romantic relationship with Asa.
Right.
And it would be easy to not have a lot of respect for her. In times when I have mentored young women, I have said this phrase to them often. A man should be in your life by choice, not by necessity.
Correct.
I would alter that phrase with Sloane. She thought she needed Asa in her life as part of a necessary evil.
Yes. Because help take care of her brother.
Yeah. Her brother is severely handicapped and he's in a home. Her mother is not in the picture and not able to help. And so the burden of paying for this person, her brother, to be in this home is laying on Sloane's shoulders. And so she's turned to Asa as the financial means to pay for that.
Yeah.
Now you find out later in the book that Asa's been lying, and
that
actually
Asa
the state's been paying it.
And like wrote letters and changed the narrative so that he would have her.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
Yeah, it's horrible the way he has treated this. So I'm not going to degrade Sloane for not getting out of the situation because she was there kind of by a secondary necessity for her brother.
It. She's like, excuse me, she's like, I need to do this to take care of my brother.
Mm-hmm.
And this is temporary. I think she did feel that it was temporary. And as soon as she probably graduated,
well, she's going to college. She's trying to get through, stand on her own feet, and then she believes she can take care of her brother without Asa. I think in the character development of Sloane, you understand that I think even she didn't realize how controlling he was of her until she was put in the situation of learning about the control. She learned about Asa lying, about paying for the treatment. He hasn't been paying. The state has been paying. And that was eye-opening for her that, wow, he did that to control me.
And someone that loves me did that because she has confused love with the way he was taking care of her.
Yeah. And then when she's approached by another man in her life, Carter, he is the cop that is trying to take down the drug ring that Asa is the head of.
Yeah, the undercover.
They fall in love. Carter and Sloane fall in love. I've got some issues with that, by the way.
I do as well.
Yeah, Carter and Sloane fall in love. And I think that was another wake-up call for her that she went, oh, a man doesn't control me and show me love. A man just shows me love.
Well, if you've never felt it before, then you feel something differently. You're like, oh, what is that? And I can honestly that's a real thing because I know for me personally,
well, you don't
lived it. You don't know what you don't know. And so then when you feel something different, you're like, oh my gosh, I didn't know it could be like this because your reality was over here, spiraling.
Yeah. This seems like such a small point, but I want to make it when talking about Sloane as a character and how people could be hypercritical of her. She also falls victim to time.
Yes.
And what I mean by that is you see her reference multiple times in the book as she's having thoughts about Asa, that it's been 2 years. And when we immerse ourselves in something for a longer extended time frame, it becomes quote unquote normal.
Yeah.
Even when it's not. But we start to decide that it's normal. And I think that's where Sloane went with this.
Well, it's like, this is what my life is. This is what I get. You're familiar with the patterns. That's why, like in therapy and different people I follow, like self-help, when you're trying to break a pattern, it almost feels like a death of yourself because you're like, I can't be this person anymore. Mm-hmm. So you truly will like shed, molt, like an insect. You got to get rid of those layers and create something new. And you can do it, but you could have something from your past life or a trigger that can easily get you to take some steps back. So it's a constant struggle, I think.
Yeah. To give more of the plot before we dive into a couple of questions about the characters, you learn about halfway during the book that Asa comes from a very dysfunctional background, a father who was abusive, a father who taught him that women are a possession.
That they're lying whores.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Let's say the brutal language. He calls them lying whores. And so that is the framework that Asa has developed. Right. And that's how he's viewing Sloane. So as much as you and I both hate it, you have to understand that there are people out here in the everyday world who live with this same sort of framework.
And then he murdered
the father.
The father murdered Asa's mother. But in some twisted way, Asa almost felt like the mother was deserving of being murdered because she was a lying whore, right? Like, and
it's justified.
It just boggles me.
So twisted.
I did think of Julie, like, wondering if she was looking at it from the murderous angle since, with your other podcasts and what your daughter does. I don't like to talk about murder, but murder has been a hot topic in the news just with the Brian.
It's never going away.
Yeah. people are going to keep murdering. But just even the Brian Koberger stuff, if I'm saying his last name right, up at U of I, there's some sick, twisted people out there.
Yeah.
And the details that I didn't know from before, like the amount of times he stabbed the victims, just how he got away with that and how brutal.
Well, and anybody who took an opportunity to watch the way that he was during the victim impact statements of his sentencing hearing, you could see that this man and Asa probably have a lot in common. There was no emotion. He didn't cry. I made this point on my radio program that we had competing sentencings going on that day. We had Brian Koberger in Idaho or in Boise for the killings at U of I. We also had Jeremy Best in Teton County for the murder of his wife, unborn child, and his son, his infant or his toddler son.
2-year-old, yeah.
Jeremy wept through his sentencing hearing. That is a man who actually isn't Asa.
Right.
Has emotions, has feelings, even though he did something
he had
very
a psychotic break versus Brian Koberger, pure
who
evil.
Is the framework is clearly in place in Brian Koberger, much like the character of Asa. And so when we look at this book and how both you and I were revolted by lots of parts of this book, there is real people out there that are like this.
Well, that's why I was trying to say Colleen Hoover did her research well. I think it was just, I couldn't write it. I couldn't write these words, so it was hard to read them and hear them. But it won't be a reread for me.
It won't be a reread, and I think to be honest about it, I've not read another Colleen Hoover book. My daughters have read multiple books, and
I've read a couple, to them, yeah.
And this is a massive departure for her. It's not the same. So I would say don't judge this book club by. Don't judge this author by the review of this sole book.
And one thing she does well, because I do like stories, right? I love a good story. And I like how each chapter is from the point of view of one of the characters. So she alternates. That is something she does in all her books. And I love that.
Yeah. So that part is still going. All right. Let's dive into a couple of questions that I've got here. I'll just pose them to you and then we can both give our answers. Do you think Colleen Hoover succeeded in portraying the psychological effects of abuse?
I do. I can use a scene. So, for instance, Sloane is sexually, I feel, molested or abused by Asa time after time, but
I would call it rape. Yeah. I'm just gonna go out there and call it rape.
But
he is doing acts on her while she's sleeping.
Yes,
that's rape.
So he says he liked her to sleep naked so that he could just basically have his way with her anytime during the night, whatever, just at his disposal. And then he was frustrated when she started wearing pajamas, and then they striked an agreement, a compromise where she just wear a t-shirt and no bottoms. And I'm like, okay, why are we hearing this? Why is she writing this? But it's probably semi true to some guy
relationships, I'm sure.
Well, like Asa, where the woman is really just for your use. Like, unbelievable. But she was so groomed. She was groomed to accept that this role was part of it. Yeah. And that because he did these things for her, put a roof over her head, paid to support her brother, which we know he didn't really do.
Yeah, he lied about.
So basically, he just paid for her to have some groceries and a roof over her head because she didn't have family and she didn't have means to support herself. And then he just abused that and took advantage of her. And then he also wasn't even faithful to her.
Yeah. Yeah. And could explain that away, by the way.
Yeah.
There's a whole chapter of him justifying why it's okay.
Yeah.
For him to cheat on her.
Because guys need it more. And they and then the never have sex with a woman between the hours of 8 a.m. and 8 p.m., wasn't it? Yeah. Or something like that. Because then you're giving them too much control in your life.
It was so broken.
Weirdest thoughts. Yeah. I don't even.
But I do think that she did show the psychological abuse that he had suffered and that he was inflicting upon
Correct.
Sloan. And we shouldn't leave out all the other women that he was basically raping.
He had a couple moments, do you remember, where he got teary-eyed?
Mm-hmm.
And he would say his eyes were going to water, but that he had learned from an early age because his dad subjected him to so much badness and evil that don't let that come up. Don't have those feelings because that's a weakness for you. And so.
Okay, I'm going to go to a place of psychological abuse that I don't love here, which is one of the reasons I didn't like Carter, Sloan's second love interest, who comes in and kind of, here I come to save the day.
Yeah, I'm the hero.
Yes.
But not really.
I felt like he exploited that, and I didn't love that.
Yeah.
That was hard for me. Here is this woman who Carter is, as an undercover cop, having conversations with Asa about how he abuses Sloan. Mm-hmm. And then he goes and has an affair with Sloan. Carter goes and has an affair with Sloan behind Asa's back.
And complicates the investigation, puts Sloan at risk.
And I feel like it's kind of abusive, and I didn't love it.
No, it is a kind of abusive, but I just say it's flat out selfish.
Yeah. Yes. I didn't like it at all. And I think you're supposed to be rooting for Carter.
Yeah.
And I found myself not rooting for Carter because I felt like that was another way to abuse Sloan, to not let her heal first.
He objectified her. He's like, oh, you're pretty.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to help you, but I'm going to help you by complicating this situation, this plot so much that it's all going to blow up in our face.
Too.
Yeah.
Ugh. I really struggled with that part. So I felt like I was an extension of abuse. And I didn't like that when he is clearly supposed to be the hero in the novel.
Yes.
Okay.
Because the hero in her other books, Atlas, loved Atlas. Yeah. Such a good character.
So if you're looking for a true hero, knight in shining armor.
And a rom-com, this is not your book.
I don't think you're getting it in Carter.
No.
Okay. Is Asa purely a villain, or was he a victim of trauma himself?
He definitely was a victim of abuse. We've established that as a child.
I think he's a victim of abuse for his career choice too.
Oh yeah.
I don't think that you can be involved in something like drug trade and drug selling, and basically he was prostituting out women too.
Right.
You can't be in that realm without victimizing your soul.
Well, and also I think it's a hard line of work to get out of once you're in. Mm-hmm. I would assume from all the things I've watched and all the drug dealers I know. Just kidding.
Yeah.
I just think it's like the money's good. Mm-hmm. And if you're a user, which Asa was a user, we got to experience what that was like for him. And he explained like what different drugs meant. He referred to people as, what kind of drug would you be?
Heroin.
Yeah. Like
weed. Mm-hmm. Yeah. They were assigned it like your Sloan personality would be assigned.
Heroin, right?
Which is the best.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And he was trying to figure out what drug Carter was.
Yep. And any woman that he was literally, I'm not making this up. He was literally shoving in a closet and having sex with while Sloan is down the hallway. Those were weed. They weren't worth anything. Yeah. It was a useless drug.
Yeah. Or a beer.
Or a beer.
A gateway drug. I don't know.
So I think, yes, he was abused by the profession that he chose. It's important to say that.
Yes.
He was clearly abused by his parents, raised in a bad environment.
But he was smart and strategic because it seemed as though he calculated this whole thing.
Yeah.
And the way he treated people, he was like the king of that. I was interested. I wish they would have gone into a little bit more, like the story would have broken out into like his suppliers and maybe brought that element in.
You would have won me over with that because I would have found that terribly interesting.
Yeah.
It was the repeated abuse of women that I think is why
the
it was
repeated sex, the repeated drug and degradation of women.
So hard for me to get through. And that doesn't mean that the book doesn't have lessons to learn. Like it can still be a difficult read and learn from it. You're just not going to walk away feeling good.
Yeah, I'm never going to date an Asa.
Never.
I learned that.
Doesn't matter if they look good in a suit.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, does not
Doesn't matter if you have a nice watch and a nice suit and you're handsome.
Yeah.
If you treat women like that, forget it.
Also, I think that I just thought of something because I'm trying to think of positives from the book. It was clear Asa was not raised in a loving, nurturing
I think he raised
environment.
himself.
He raised himself.
Yeah.
He's very intelligent.
Mm-hmm.
Don't judge people's intelligence by their environment. You can be raised in a very bad environment and still be an incredibly intelligent person.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's a lesson to learn. You can also be raised in a very classy, affluent home and be a dimwit.
Yeah. And be a dunce. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So don't let the three-piece suit, don't let that identify someone's depth, someone's intelligence, because it varies.
That's a very good point. I agree.
Okay, another one. How did you feel about the violence? Did you feel like it glorified it way too much?
Oh, I just hated it. I'm like, it was violent. There was a lot of fighting, especially towards the end, like the shooting and the murdering.
Mm-hmm.
And
it does end in a very graphic, it's a shootout.
Yeah.
That's what it is, because it's cops versus drug lords. And that's the basis of the crime part of the book. And Sloane is in the middle of all of that because Carter makes her
and the
his
court
love
case
interest.
Really irritated me too, that because they didn't want to compromise the department because Carter did the wrong thing by basically pursuing Sloane and being with Sloane, and they didn't want the negative press. They basically let the Asa walk as a murderer.
Yeah.
Basically. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
In real life, but that happens. And then Asa brings that up. How the system worked for him. And he knew it would. He planned it. He literally, he was very smart and intelligent, which made me think Colleen Hoover's pretty smart in the way she put these intricacies together. So
okay, so let's dive into that for just a minute, because I think that was one of the parts of Asa that is the development of the character. Mm-hmm. He is 4 and 5 steps ahead of other people. Mm-hmm. He's very manipulative.
Did you know what was going to happen though when you were reading it? Because I kind of
figured, yes.
Because with as much stuff as you do along these lines,
yes.
I figured, I'm like, oh, that's before they said the fake FBI was fake. Mm-hmm. I thought it was when the raid happened. I'm like, this feels planned.
Yeah, this feels
like the surprise.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would agree. I think it was a very predictable book, especially the middle chapters were incredibly predictive. That when Asa started talking, you're like, and here we go again. Another chapter of Asa saying this, but I think that her point was that she was developing him so much as the character of who he was.
Right.
That she had to give him almost credibility in who he was. And maybe that's part of, I felt like Carter lacked credibility.
Yeah.
In his character.
He just seemed like
maybe
a
that's
doofus.
Another reason I didn't like him.
And then let's be real. Who gets in a car accident bleeding and then runs to save their girl from? Yeah. I mean, it was a bit
unrealistic.
much.
At least Asa seemed realistic. Mm-hmm. At least I could envision that there is skis drug people out there that are just like Asa. Carter just seemed, he's so unrealistic for me as a hero in the book. Yeah. Weird, right? That's who I'm disliking the most.
I know. I wanted to like him.
Yeah.
But I really I think I like Sloane. Like, she'd be my favorite character.
Yeah. My favorite chapter of the book. Mm-hmm. When they first visit Sloane's brother.
Oh, yeah.
Sloane and Carter go together. Ace is off at a casino goofing off with a bunch of other drug addicted people. So Carter swoops in and goes with Sloane to see Sloane's severely handicapped.
The autistic brother.
Yes. Yeah. And all they can do is communicate via writing sentences, and the sentences really don't make sense, but it's a way for Sloane and her brother.
Game
and it's so endearing.
It's so cute, actually. And she taught Carter how to do that. Those were some of my favorite moments in the book, was the words that they'd put together.
Yeah.
And the messages they would leave on the refrigerator board. But yeah, then to see her brother do that with her, and then to know that here this kid that struggles with so much still has a brain that works enough to create these fun sentences.
To be a love language. Yeah. That was by far my favorite chapter in the book.
That was the best nugget of the whole book.
I was like, oh, can we get more of him?
I know. Can we visit the brother more than just once, please?
Yes. Yeah. All right. Overall score of the book. What would you give it?
Oh, my goodness. Well, when we judge at the rib off for ribs, we're told we cannot give anyone a score below 5 on a scale of 1 to 10. So I feel like I can't give her below 5 because honestly, as an author and writer and character development, she did a lot of things great. I think it's just for me, the topic was not.
It wasn't your thing.
Something
so
I wanted to read about. Maybe 5, 5.5.
I think I'm right in the same realm. I will own part of this. I like incredibly descriptive books. That's one of the reasons I loved the Life List. I just finished another book. I can't think of the name of it right off the top of my head, but before this book, I finished one. So descriptive. And when I was looking at the reviews for that book, people were like, it's a slow burn at the beginning. She spends so much time talking about this. And I'm like, I loved it. I loved that there was just such vivid color.
And texture. I love that too.
I felt like there was a lot of description. It was very repetitive description. And that's probably where this book lacked for me. I
really don't need to hear a girl getting raped or described over and over again.
And again. And so I didn't feel like that added the texture that you're talking about. It was just repetitive. And even though it was very descriptive and the language was, I guess, appropriate for that, it
maybe overkill.
It didn't fulfill that part of what I love in a book.
Right.
And so that was as disappointing for me as the topic matter. I have to take responsibility for the topic matter. This is honestly
the first time I think I walked away from a book not liking it. And maybe it's just because I've chosen good books in the past. But being raised in Provo, they would have never allowed me to read a book like this. So I was like, what am I reading? And then I'm like, I have to stop. And then I'm like, we asked people to read this. What am I doing? I should have done my research better because I am so trusting, unassuming.
Yeah.
Oh, I got my.
But that's one of my favorite parts about you. So it's okay. That's what this podcast is about because sometimes you pick books that aren't the best.
Right.
That's life. I remember, I'll tell this story really quick. I was on a date. I was a junior. The guy was a senior. We were dating. We were boyfriend, girlfriend. We went to a local theater, and we went and watched the movie Born on the 4th of July with Tom Cruise.
I don't think I've seen that, but I thought you were going to say Silence of the Lambs. Because that was my first R-rated movie, and it was about like this book.
I was so uncomfortable. And he could sense it. He knew me well enough because we were dating. He's like, are you okay? And I'm like, I'm going to go out to the lobby. I got up. I didn't realize he got up right behind me because he was a gentleman. And he followed me out to the lobby, and I just stood in the lobby, and then I turned around, and there he was. And he's like, should we just go? And I'm like, I can't do it. I can't watch that movie. And he was like, let's go. And we left. Okay, this was a guy who was incredibly money conscious. I was worried he was not going to want to leave. He had spent money on a date. I could see him going, we spent the money. We're going to do it. He didn't. He was like, let's go. And we left. This book was that same experience for me. If I could... I finished the book because you and I had committed to the book club.
Right.
I would have put it down.
I did put it down a couple times, and then I jumped back in because it was too heavy for me. And then I had to refresh a little bit the last couple of days just because I think I've repressed some of it because it was really hard for me to read. So.
Yeah. So
5.5.
It might be your gig. But also maybe for people who are going, I was going to read that. I have an honest review.
Yeah.
This is your honest review of it.
Yeah. If you do not like to read about women being degraded, maybe don't read this book.
Yeah, maybe don't. And if you do, if you were part of this book club with us, you read it, maybe reach out to those women that you know are feeling this way. Because I actually have someone in my life that I was like, I think she experiences a little of this. Mm-hmm. And I hated that. She and I've had conversations. I'm a little worried about our marriage.
Well, and you're probably seeing like, okay, if she's probably sugarcoating it and not really going, and this detail is probably more accurate of what she's experiencing, but she doesn't have the words or want to put that on.
So it did make me hyper aware of the people in my life who I think might be in, just degrees of this.
Yes.
Not full blown like this, but just degrees of this that I need to bring them into my arms. They need to be loved.
Like definitely more. Let's have that be our positive takeaway. We could all do better, and male, female, to show more love, and that people deserve to be treated better. This book shows you how to not treat people.
Yes. Yeah.
And I would even say from Carter.
Yes.
Like, that's not the way he treated Sloan wasn't great either.
Yeah.
So
I would have hated if Sloan had been my daughter. I would have hated that she found her love interest the way Carter and Sloan came together.
Yeah. Wow. Clearly, Sloan, if she was your daughter, would not be in this situation because of who you are. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right.
All right.
The next book up is Beach Read. And I'm hoping it's just lighthearted and fun and beachy.
I've read it. It's great.
Oh, okay. So we're good.
The next one will not be like this.
I saved it, and I'm still trying to manifest that I can get away for a weekend to
even if you
put
went to
my
like
feet
Bear
in the
Lake.
sand. Yeah. Yeah. Rigby Lake won't count.
Yes. Go to Bear Lake and
on
listen to the book or read the book. It's a great book. So please join us for the next one. It's literally called Beach Read.
Yeah.
It is a beach read, but it's literally called Beach Read by Jimena Perez. Jimena Perez?
Yes.
I think that's her name.
Let me hurry.
Or is it Emily Henry?
It's
Emily
Henry.
It's Emily Henry. I read both Jimena Perez and Emily Henry. Jimena Perez, like a little side note, Jimena Perez.
She's good. Abby Jimenez.
That's what it is.
Abby
That's
Jimenez,
what it is.
Yeah.
It's a little more graphic. So if you don't love a little more sex, maybe stick closer to Emily Henry because she's not near the sex scenes aren't near as salty.
I know, and I've never read these type of books before. I literally am like a self-help junkie, and I know women that love smut novels is what they call them, and they've read them for years and talk about them. I'm like, oh, I just can't.
Yeah, Abby Jimenez would be listed as a smut novel, but very cute too and descriptive. Emily Henry, much lighter on that. So, and it is Emily Henry Beach Read is our next book.
Yes. Okay. And she also wrote The Great Beautiful Life or something.
Yes.
And that one was a good one
so
too.
cute.
I would recommend that.
There's several. I've listened to several Emily Henry books. They're super cute.
Yeah. And she's Lindsey Vaughn's best friend or one of them.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So that's why I liked her. I picked her even because Lindsey was at her book.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Book thing. Yeah. And I follow Lindsey. I think she's amazing skier.
So join us. Get Beach Read by Emily Henry. Very easy one to listen to if you're multitasking too. So if you're working out at the same time or if you're cleaning the house, doing laundry, whatever. Super easy book to listen to and do those things at the same time.
And just, giving you all of our love and know that we're sorry if you struggled through this book with us.
We were united in that.
We will not, yeah. Just put it on the shelf now. You can walk away.
Yeah. All right. See you guys.
Thank you. Bye. Thanks for joining us today on the We Share podcast.
If you've loved what you've heard, please give us a 5-star rating. Tell your friends and share this show.
You can also follow us for recipes, lifestyle and fashion tips, book reviews, and more on WeSharePodcast.com.
Join our Share Squad and sign up for our newsletter there.
We would love to connect with you.
We share on TikTok, Pinterest, Facebook, and Instagram. Give us a follow.
A big goodbye squeeze and sending you all our love from Alex and Julie.
Join us next week on the We Share podcast.